Hi there, my name is Karlie Bartholomew and I just recently released my debut EP called A Way to Start. With this being my first EP, it really felt fitting for it to be called A Way to Start as it feels like it's the start of the next chapter of my life and my music career. The first song on the EP is called Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park is where I grew up in Maryland. It's right outside of Baltimore. And in the chorus of that song, there's a line that goes, "If only I could find a way to start somewhere new, I'd shake off each excuse." And that's where the title of the EP came from. It really felt like it encompassed every song on the EP and the main idea, which is following my journey from leaving home for the first time and starting over here in Nashville. We started recording back in May of 2019. The first few songs we did with Stephen Mogen at Dark Shadow Recording, and we recorded most of Brooklyn Park, May, and Hold On there, and then later we went back and with Rick Wheeler we did the drums, and then he also recorded piano, organ, and Wurlitzer with Pete Wasner. Back Bay was recorded in 2020, and Rick did that full track, but since it was during the pandemic, we actually recorded each track separately. So I went in and recorded acoustic guitar and vocals with just Rick, and then Rick had Brian Allen record both cello parts, and Brian recorded them himself at his house. And then Rick had Sam Bush come in and record his mandolin part. So it was really cool to see how that came together, not actually being there for the full process. Brooklyn Park was the first song that I wrote on the EP, and I think I wrote it back in either 2015 or 2016. It was originally called If I Could Fly, or If Only I Could Fly, or something like that. And it talked a lot about me being scared to drive on highways and fly on planes because I never really had much experience with either of them, but still had the general idea of me being scared to leave home and have to do these things. And I wrote it one summer when I was in college, and then later I ended up taking it into one of my songwriting teachers because I really loved the chord progression and the melody, but I did not like the lyrics. So she went in and she gave me a lot of direction, and actually helped me come up with the Brooklyn Park title. The second song on the EP, which was actually the second song written, is May. I believe that was also written like 2015 or 2016, but it was another one that's had a very long journey. It was the same type of thing. I really loved the chord progression and the melody, and even like the chorus is the same as it originally was when I first wrote it. Up until recently, I had actually been working on rewriting the verses just because it didn't feel like they were finished and they needed a bit more love. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. The songs on the EP actually do go in order of when they were written. So next is Hold On. That one I actually wrote after moving to Nashville, and it had been about 6 months and I hadn't finished any of my solo writes. I'm not too sure why. I don't know if it was just the move or what exactly it was, but that was one. I don't remember specifically how long it took me to write, but I do remember finishing it within like a day or so, and I was so relieved. And then after that, felt like I could write other things, but I think it was what I needed at the time. The last song that was written on the EP, and is actually the last song on the EP, is Back Bay. That one I believe I wrote in February of 2020. That was the same type of thing where I hadn't written a song or I hadn't finished a solo write in a really long time. So I took some time off and told myself that in this time I'm gonna finish a song no matter how long it takes. So I woke up, I made my coffee, and then I sat on the floor. I like to sit on the floor a lot of times and write, and I finished that one within about an hour. I really felt like I was holding on to Boston, which is where I went to college, and it was my way of kind of making amends and almost like my goodbye, my ode to Boston. And that's one of my favorites on the EP. I'm so thankful to have been able to work with so many incredible people on this record. First, I'm so thankful to Daniel Schimmel, He's my electric guitarist, but without him this project wouldn't have been possible, and I'm so thankful for everything that he's done during all of this. And then I have Stephen Mojin from Dark Shadow Recording and Rick Wheeler, who both engineered on this, and then Rick as well did the mixing on this. As far as musicians go, I'm so thankful to have Todd Parks on electric bass and upright bass, Chris Brown on drums and percussion, Pete Wasner on piano, organ, and Wurlitzer, Sam Bush on mandolin, and Brian Allen on cellos. And then we had Eric Kahn at Independent Mastering, mastered this for me. Lastly, I'm thankful for Annabelle from Graphics and Grain, who created this beautiful artwork. Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to listen so far and support this journey of mine. I'm so thankful. Thank you.
Mr. Pine Tree in my front yard grew too tall and couldn't stay. Maybe I've outgrown my childhood home, like the pine. Fall someday. If only I could find a way to start somewhere new, I'd shake off each excuse. If only I could wander in the dark, I'd leave my roots back in Brooklyn Park. On the corner lives an old woman in a house, dressed in weeds. Her eyes peek out behind the blinds, like me. She's scared to leave. If only I could find a way to start somewhere new, I'd shake off each excuse. If only I could wander in the dark, I'd leave my roots back in Brooklyn Park. And all these breaths I've known have aged with time. The faded porch with that old wind chime, I'll lock that purple door with boxes at my side, and I'll say goodbye. If only I could find a way to start somewhere new, I'd shake off each excuse. If only I could wander in the dark, I'd leave my room I'd leave my roots back in Brooklyn Park.